My name is Father Wade Menezes, and I've been in religious life with the Fathers of Mercy for right at 26 years, and I've been ordained a priest for 20 years. And prior to entering the Fathers of Mercy, I had a media and communications background, but specifically in agriculture. And I had employment both with the State Department of Food and Agriculture in California, as well as the State Farm Bureau Federation. But on the side, I did freelancing work for the National Catholic Press and would submit freelance articles and such. And it was slowly but surely through that process that I started discerning the Catholic priesthood. And the impetus for that was that being a regular penitent for confession and the sacrament of reconciliation, I like to tell people you can only be asked so many times as you're leaving the confessional by the priest, "Young man, have you ever thought about being a priest?" And the first 5 to 7 times I said, "No, Father, I haven't." And indeed, I had not. But after about the 8th time or beyond, I started asking myself, am I being asked to look at the priesthood? And so I started looking at it. What attracted me to the Fathers of Mercy was the missionary preaching apostolate. I had become disheartened with some of the religious orders in the United States of men that had media apostolates. I found them a little bit too liberal-minded. And so I had a great spiritual director who prompted me to look at preaching orders. He said, maybe you're meant to take your communications background and look at preaching orders. And so I did. I began to look at preaching orders. And I was very enamored with the Fathers of Mercy because we were a smaller community that had a strong sense of like mind and heart of the apostolate among the men. And that attracted me greatly. I was also attracted by the orthodoxy of the community, faithfulness to the magisterium, lovers of the Blessed Virgin and the Most Holy Eucharist. What I love most about my religious vocation is the ability to preach the truth as taught by the Bride of Christ, Holy Mother Church, this one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church that we are baptized members of. We are each called to be great students of the faith and to give that faith to others. For example, in the Nicene Creed that we recite prayerfully at every Sunday Mass, there's some 40+ truths that guide us in this faith of ours. And I love to give these truths and preach about them and give them to others. To any gentleman discerning a priestly vocation, I would first ask him, do you feel called more to a contemplative life or more to an active life? And to try to have a good spiritual director to help you discern those two categories. If you feel called to the contemplative life, then chances are you're going to end up with a religious community, a religious order of some type that focuses on a strong life of prayer. But if you feel called to the active life, there's a dual choice there. You can join an active religious order, an active community like the Fathers of Mercy, or you could become a diocesan priest, which is also an active life. And so to men who are discerning, I want to tell you what John Paul II would tell us all: do not be afraid. It is said by the scripture scholars that that phrase appears in scripture in that particular wording or some similar type of wording 365 times. There you have it, one for each day of the year. Do not be afraid to discern your priestly vocation. And if you feel called to an itinerant missionary preaching apostolate, look at the Fathers of Mercy. We're here for you to look at.